doing? I haven't done a video in a long time, so I thought today would be the day. Happy holidays to all of you. I just got done watching John McGivern's Home for the Holidays, and if you haven't watched that, I'm not sure if it's a national broadcast, but here in Milwaukee it's on PBS, and I taped it and watched it today. It is so good. Having grown up in Milwaukee, I could relate to everything that he was talking about. He's such a good storyteller. He's like the best storyteller that I've ever experienced. And yeah, it got me thinking about my Christmases when I was a kid, and about all the things that I think back on now and that I hold precious, you know. And I grew up really poor. You know, my dad worked for a company called Nordberg, and Nordberg made mining equipment. And yeah, I grew up really poor. My mom was a church secretary. We didn't have a lot of money, but my parents always found really creative ways to use the little money that they had, and made sure that we as kids didn't notice that we didn't have a lot of money. You know, they always found exciting and fun things for us to do, and you know, we always got some pretty fantastic toys. And I think back on it now, because now as an adult I know the hardship that they went through. I know more about the story, and I know what they had to sacrifice in order to ensure that we had a Christmas where we didn't know that there was something wrong, you know. And instrumental in that was my grandfather. My grandfather was an amazing, amazing man. And if you know me, I'm sure you've heard me tell stories about my grandpa, but my grandpa was a pastor, which is really funny if you really know me. But yeah, my grandpa was a pastor, and he truly was filled with what Christmas was all about, you know, the important things of Christmas. And he instilled that in my brothers and I, and I am so glad that he did. I'm so glad that he took the time to like help us understand what the true meaning of Christmas is. And I think so many kids today don't really understand what the true meaning of Christmas is, you know. And you don't even have to be overly religious in order to appreciate the story behind Christmas, you know. I think you just have to have a big open heart. And that is something that my grandfather always had. He was a pastor, and he preached at the Milwaukee Rescue Mission, and he had a heart for people who were poor, and for people who were downhearted, and people who were alcoholics and drug addicts and insane, because there was a lot of people at the Milwaukee Rescue Mission, especially after Reagan was president, who were mentally not right, you know. And he had a big heart for those people, and he brought that to us at Christmas time. You know, he made sure that every moment that we were with him on Christmas, that it was a special moment and something that we would treasure and we would remember. And as parents, that's really what you should be instilling in your children, you know. It isn't, you know, about what you own and what you play with, and, you know, about what you wear or the house that you live in. It's about how do people treat other people. I mean, that is like the best lesson that you can teach your kids about Christmas and about every day of the year, is that you should always treat people with a big open heart and give generously. And yeah, there are people who take advantage of the system, and yeah, there are people who don't work hard and never will and never wanted to. But we have to start with the kids now. We have to start with this next generation. We have to teach these children that in order for you to feel like you've been fulfilled in life, you have to do a few things. You have to work hard. You have to love your neighbor and love your community and love people in general and give generously and have a big open heart. And if we all do that and our kids do that, I think the world's going to be a better place, you know. Also, we need to fire every single politician that's in our government right now and start over new, but that's another subject. Okay. So anyways, something that John McGovern was talking about that made me laugh so hard was the manger scene. He was talking about his manger scene as a kid. In his manger scene, it was just a box. It was a box, and Mary and Joseph and the wise men were in the box with baby Jesus, who was laying on his back with his arms wide open like, somebody please pick me up, please! And I thought that was the funniest thing. Oh, and also the hay that the baby Jesus was on was also the same hay that they used at Easter, so it was pink. And that made me laugh so hard. I was like, oh my gosh, that's totally like the manger scene that I grew up with. In the manger scene that I grew up with, there was, you know, the wise men, baby Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and like camels and donkeys, and like a big German bear made out of wood, and a lion, and an elephant, and like a camel that was 4 sizes bigger than everything else in the manger scene. But it was our manger scene. And I knew it was Christmas as soon as I saw it come out, you know? So it always excited me to see that. And I am so lucky because I have a lot of those pieces now, you know? So when we put them out, when Rick and I put them out, it's just like, yeah, now it's Christmas, you know? And that little bit of excitement comes out. Also from my childhood, my mom had these blinking bells. There were 5 blinking bells that she would hang in the kitchen window at Christmas time. And that always brought that same kind of joy to me. As soon as I saw those bells, I knew it was Christmas time, and I knew things were going to be awesome, you know. I knew we would be going to my Uncle Bob's house for Christmas, and we'd be singing Happy Birthday to Baby Jesus, you know. I knew we'd be heading over to my Grandma and Grandpa's house, and I'd be able to see that beautiful aluminum flocked Christmas tree with the color wheel that was spinning, you know, blue and green and red and like the ugliest orange I've ever seen in my life, and to this day I don't like orange because of it. But it was special and it was magical, and I just think that kids today don't have that same kind of excitement, that same sort of, wow, it's Christmas time, you know? When we'd go through the neighborhood and we'd hand out food to the people who were poor, making sure that they had a really good Christmas meal, you know? It's like all of humanity has lost some of its humanity. And I really want to go back there. Well, we got to start it with our kids, you know. So now here's my manger scene. This one has all modern stuff in it, including the baby Jesus with his arms stretched open saying, pick me up, please. And yeah, baby Jesus has a broken arm that I had to glue back on because one of my cats decided to be Catzilla at the manger scene and kind of threw baby Jesus onto the floor. But, you know, it's okay because it was glued back on. I don't think it's sacrilegious. Anyways, I love you guys. Merry Christmas. I miss you. I hope to do more videos in 2012. And I hope that each and every one of you has like the best Christmas you've ever had. And if you want to make it happen, if you want to make it become a really, really special Christmas, take some canned goods to your nearest food bank and donate them. You know, do something for somebody else this Christmas. Give something, you know. If everybody in America who's working right now gives a couple cans of food to their local food bank, people will not go hungry this year. Okay, so please do that. Take the time to do that. So, alright. Merry Christmas. Love you guys. Bye-bye. I did not do that to the baby Jesus. The baby Jesus just flew away.